What's going on, everyone? Seth Miranda here with the new Canon EOS C70. That's C70, just to be clear. So what is this? Well, it's kind of a really cool Frankenstein, in my opinion. You know the Cinema series from Canon, right? The C200, C300, all that great famous stuff that we know about. And now we have the EOS R, which is their new full frame system that they're constantly evolving as we speak. We'll put them together, and that's what you get right here. So you get all the quality and ability of the Cinema line mixed with the mobility and ergonomics and portability of the EOS R line. And along with that R, you get the RF mount, which is their newest lens line. So they're giving you a step forward in that direction with the newest of the glass. And a lot of that glass has image stabilization in it, which will work in collaboration with the electronic stabilization in body. So no matter what, you're looking at a stable image either way, which is fantastic. But what's behind that mount? Well, you're looking at a 4K Super 35mm dual gain output sensor. They're claiming it's got about 16 plus stops dynamic range. You got 422 10-bit output and even 4K 120. So with that sensor, you also get that color science. I mean, that's what Canon's been famous for forever. We all know, we all love it. And it's something that I think goes synonymous with the Canon name. But along with the color, you get the flexibility in the files from the BT709, Canon Log 2, 3, HLG, and PQ. So we have all those profiles that are super flexible. We have all that color science that Canon's known for, but we also have that dual gain output that I mentioned before with the 4K Super 35mm sensor. But what does dual gain output mean? Well, pretty much it's a new imaging system that generates real-time HDR. So you get to actually maintain the details in your highlights, eliminate the noise in your shadows, and not hurt the image quality while still maintaining a maximum dynamic range. So we can't talk about all this famous stuff that Canon's known for in this legacy system without talking about the Dual Pixel Autofocus. I think that's the most well-known autofocus system in the game, actually, and the EOS C70 is no different. In fact, it's pretty much updated with face detection and even touch tracking autofocus from the screen, which is totally touch-enabled. In fact, they have direct touch control menus. So beyond this fully articulating screen, we've got a lot of great features here on body with the ergonomics of the C70 for the run-and-gun shooter. I mean, we're talking about two mini XLR inputs, which is phenomenal, as well as a full HDMI port. You've got your focus and exposure controls right here in the lower right corner, and on top of that exposure control, you get your ND filter built in. We're talking 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10 stop built-in ND filters right in the body, which is fantastic. No matter what you're putting on this camera as far as lens goes, you're covered for even more light control, which means no more fiddling with an ND filter at the edge of your lens, no more worrying about what diameter filter if you get a new lens. You have yourself covered in the body. You already have your back against the wall with exposure control as a filmmaker, having only so much control with ISO and aperture and always have to stick at your shutter speed based on your frame rate. Well, now you can limit however much light you need based on 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10 stops right in the body. And on the other side, inside of the grip, we have 2 card slots. So V90 SD cards will get you going, and even an SDI port for time code. And to polish this whole thing off, if you're already in the Canon system, it takes BP batteries. So you don't have to worry about collecting any new system of batteries. If you're already within the C series, you're good to go. And of course, it's a Canon EOS system. So if you're familiar with Canon EOS, then you already have that muscle memory to get to the front dial, the rear dial, and everything in between that you've already been using for years in this legacy system. And I know we keep talking about this grip, and that's what's all nice and new, but if you are from the Cinema line and you're used to the way that's all feeling in your hand, don't worry, you do get this top handle with a shotgun mount built into it. And let's be real, we're in 2020, and we all have a lot of clients that always ask for something for social media, and that means that we have to do the dreaded vertical video. But it's okay, because we actually are equipped with it now with the C70. They have a 1/4-20 right here in the grip, so you can mount it vertically and even have your HUD and menus and everything in a vertical orientation, so it's not such a frustrating ordeal as far as workflow goes, and you can look like a hero. And along with this release comes the MA1 adapter. Now, what is that and why am I talking about it? Well, I've been harping so much about the RF mount on this EOS C70, right? But don't fear if you already have a ton of EFS glass out there. If you have full frame Canon lenses, you can use the MA1 to adapt them to this Super 35mm sensor. One, without getting a crop penalty, it is actually going to keep the full field angle of view onto a Super 35mm sensor, and it would also give you an extra stop of light. So essentially, it's a speed booster, right? Step further, if you really like the way that's acting for you or your system or what you have in your kit, you can actually screw mount down that adapter so it becomes your mount. In fact, you even have the screws sitting right here in the body waiting for you to do it. You don't have to worry about getting extra hardware or anything else. You can just have those lenses that already exist work with this system. Unfortunately, this is a pre-production model from Canon itself, so we can't actually show you any footage from it, unfortunately. But our own Fernando Martinez, the senior producer here at Adorama TV, has used this in the field, so feel free to leave a comment down below with a question if you want to know anything about his experience with the camera. He will do his best to answer you down there. All right, that's going to do it for us here at Adorama TV with the Canon EOS C70. Share this video around and hit subscribe and the bell for notification about more videos like this. Thank you guys once again for getting us to 1 million subscribers, and I'll see you next time. Later.
It's getting like a weird part in the center.
Is it really? Okay. What, now?
Now I have an Easter egg.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks. I'm so vain. People already hate me. Let's do this. All right.
Alrighty. Let's cut.